everyone, welcome back to my channel. Would like to share with you today a prayer journal that I made using a vintage dictionary. This is a dictionary that I found at an estate sale, and it's fallen apart basically. You can kind of see here there's some evidence of water damage, and on the inside pages there was some water damage. The spine was really weak, pages were coming out, so it was very easy for me to purchase it with the intention of using it for a journal. I have a problem with using vintage items that are in good condition. Not that I can't get over that problem, but I do have a problem with it. But anyway, so this is a vintage dictionary. I'm not sure the date on it. On the cover here, I have a couple of little crocheted pieces. This piece on the front here came from a shirt that I bought at a thrift store, and I coffee dyed it. The other one on the inside is a smaller doily that came off of something larger, and I believe I got that from Donna Little. She has a channel here on YouTube and sells wonderful appliques and doilies and things like that. The closure is vintage. They're vintage buttons that I stacked on top of each other, if you can see that there. There's one on the front and one on the back, like that, you can see. And then I just attached it with an elastic hair tie. So like I said, they were in pretty bad, this dictionary was in pretty bad shape. So on the inside, there were these beautiful advertisements for dictionaries, but you can see the water damage here, and there was some tearing and all sorts of things like that. So I basically came in, I reinforced the spine with actually some lace that I taped down, and then I did a hidden binding, if that's what it's called, signature inside, so that I could keep that nice binding on the outside. I like how vintage and worn it looks. For the corners here, these are the Tim Holtz corners that I use, and if you've never used them before, you just slide them on and you use pliers to attach them. And this is a wonderful thing because these corners were really worn. Before I put the edge pieces on here, I took some heavy matte gel medium, if I can say it properly, on there to just kind of hold down those pieces. Then I made the lace pocket, and I'll get started. The pages were, this page is vintage song sheets. I got it at an estate sale. I was real happy to get them. And the journal is actually going to be a gift for someone who's going through a rough time right now, and feels like things are coming against her and whatever, and she's just kind of in a mode where she feels like she's in a spiritual battle. So if you look through all the journal, you'll see things that reference things like that. Most of it was very thought out, so you can see that. Anyway, here's the second page. I'm not going to hold it close up the whole time. We'll just go through here. And let me get a little thing for my tuck spots if I need them. This is not a tuck spot. I just took some verses, printed them out onto cardstock, and used distress ink. And I believe, I'd say it wrong, so I'm not going to tell you what the color is. But anyway, that's distress ink to distress that. And all the verses relate, like I said, to being in a spiritual battle and overcoming. On in here, we've got this, I did a little fabric here, there's a little thing tucked in here. This is a Rita Donnelly flip for her to journal in. I made it with the idea that she'll actually use this as a prayer journal, write her thoughts in, and, you know, verses that she finds that may not be the same ones that I have. I don't know if she'll use it that way, but that is the idea. And inside this little pocket here is just a little flip-out thing that she can write in. There's some little lace, vintage buttons, a lot of vintage elements. The person that this gift is for does really appreciate vintage items. I told you I would point out things that weren't meant to be. When I originally started doing this journal, it was going to be a garden journal because this person likes to garden, and so I was going to make a garden journal. And so this particular page, when I coffee dyed it, I accented the word agriculture. And it made it in the book, but it has nothing really to do. The book kind of became what it is on its own. Funny how things happen that way. And this page, this is from a, this is actually, I believe, no, this I think is, I have a big, huge book of synonyms and antonyms, and I think that's what this came from, this page here. But this down here at the bottom is a little tuck spot. I don't have anything in it, but that's what it is. I did some stenciling here on the pages, as well as coffee dyeing and the punching. Some graph paper, another little tuck here. And my little things on the back are decorated too, but they're meant to be journaled on. This is a little flip-up thing that's sewn in that she can write on, or write an idea behind to hide. This page here has a tag on it. I've kind of held it into place. This is a vintage doily. Again, I think this one is from Donna Little. But this is the tag that I made to go in that. And this little tag has the vintage, well, yeah, I suppose it's vintage, but the synonyms and antonyms. And then tucked in this little pocket are some verse cards. So that goes right in there. And then what happens if you've ever done this before is that one side of your dictionary page, or in my case, synonyms, antonyms page, will have something on it that relates to what you're doing and kind of, you know, is used on purpose. And the other side does not. And sometimes that can be quite funny. So this side actually, if you'll notice, has a lot of things about burial and interment. So I covered over some of that. Some of these I did not cover over, and I kind of thought about it, and I just wasn't motivated to do it, so I don't know whether it'll, you know, she'll want to cover over it or whatever. This page is one of these flip outs that she can write on. Some more graph pages. I'm going to put this down. Maybe I'll zoom in so I don't have to hold it up. There you go. I'm using this doily behind here that you see in the shot is my first attempt at crocheting. So I decided to kind of use it since it had a vintage look to it. You have to let me know what you think of the new thing. I typically like to film with a very solid background, but you have to let me know if it's distracting or if you like it. Anyway, there's that page. This is a belly band made out of lace with a little booklet that she can write in. Here's another page, another verse, doily, napkin decoupage. Here's this. This is an actual vintage doily. And inside this vintage doily, I just have to make sure I get this off without damaging the beautiful doily. I have, well, if you flip the page on this side, you can see this lovely image through the page. And this image actually was from Magic Moonlight Studios, and it was a free printable that I found online. But I added it to coffee dyed paper, and then I just used the bottom parts to make it a little bit bigger, and then tucked it down into this beautiful little vintage doily there. Some more. This again is the back side of a piece of dictionary page. This dictionary page came from the vintage dictionary, but this side is not the side that I wanted to accent, so this doesn't really highlight anything. But on this side it does. This side it highlights blessings and blessed and whatever, so I added a little bit of a highlight there. And we'll go on. This is a little tuck spot here with a little fold-out envelope and a little tag to journal on. Again with another vintage button. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this little thing here on the outside is a snippet from doilies that Donna Little sent with an order I placed as a little freebie, as a thank you gift. More napkin decoupage, more coffee dyed pages, lots of places for her to journal in this book, because that, again, is the purpose. This is a little fold out here, and it goes back down into the pocket there. Tag, very plain tag with just some stenciling on it. This is a fabric page with some lace on the bottom and this cute little book. And this image, I'm not sure if it's from this Magic Moonlight Studios or if it's from somewhere else. A few of my images I got from Pinterest with no attribution. There's no way for me to attribute the image because they were something that somebody just uploaded. But anyway, it's a little booklet that she can write in there. And then this is the back with some lace on it, and then this is the tag that goes in there. And the back side of that with the verse down at the bottom, and tuck that in there. And then on this side, we've got a little tuck spot there with a little tag, like that. And this one I know is from Magic Moonlight Studios, that big image. And then on this page is the other side of this fabric. Doesn't complete, but little verses that I cut out and tucked in the little thing for her. She can change those out if she wants. She can put something else in there, whatever. And on this page, this is just a little piece of lace at the top that's a tuck, place for her to journal. A tag with some sewing on it. More music sheets. This is a little applique that I got from some trim from Joanne Fabrics. Another little pocket with verses in it, little doily with a little lace on my paper clip. This is not glued in. She can take that off if she wants to. And this page again is another one. I think this is the back to one that I wanted to, there's nothing on it that I wanted to highlight. Verse, some little vintage rickrack there. And then the back side of this vintage doily. And I love how it's so thin. It's like almost gossamer, so the images stand out. And this is a little booklet that I made. And there's really not a whole lot. Well, there's no embellishing in there, but it's just a little booklet that she can use to journal her thoughts. She can take that out, toss that in her purse, keep it in the book, whatever she wants to do with that. So there's that on this side. And with this vintage doily, again, I said that I have a hard time really using up vintage things, and I know she would love this. So this vintage doily, I did not glue or anything. I stitched it together to make these little pockets so that it can always be unstitched sometimes. So even the rickrack is stitched on there. But there's the pocket there, there's a pocket here, and there's a pocket right there, which is where this little fold out goes, and that's for journaling. Goes right there. More of the song music sheets, graph paper, another page like that, more napkin decoupage. This is an interesting thing. I did this with glue. I didn't sew this at all. I don't even know what you'd call this. Is this a box pleat? I don't know, I just did it. Just folded stuff together. So that I thought was kind of fun to put on there. Again, this page, this is one of those that didn't have anything to do with the book, but I didn't feel motivated to cover it for the composition. So, you know, maybe it'll mean something to her, or maybe she can cover it up. Here's a page there. And then on this page, I have this cute little tag here. You'll see these images repeated throughout. I had quite a number of them, but that, you know, lots and lots of pages because this is a very thick book. So on the back, I put the rest of the verse. I started the verse here, and then I printed the rest of the verse on the back. And then that goes in there, and I did attach it with a safety pin just so that it wouldn't fall out of the book. More fabric on there, more verses. The signatures that I did, I left the strings just hanging. I didn't do anything to the strings. This is another side I didn't do anything with, nor was it something I wanted to highlight. This page has a little pocket here. I thought that this was cute. This is a reinforcement of the front of the book. And then with the little tag in there, and then the little verses in the pocket. I kind of like that. I didn't like it at first. I put this on here, and then I didn't like it, and then finally I think I really do. More napkin decoupage. This one actually is something that I highlighted on purpose, and it says gratitude. This is a tag in a little lace pocket that she can journal on. Here's more here, obviously. More song sheets, napkin decoupage, napkin decoupage. This is a little tuck spot here. It goes under there. And then on the back side, I had been gifted many years ago a whole box of these little teeny weeny appliques, and I had absolutely no idea what to do with them. And sometimes, if you're like me, you get these things, you hoard them forever and ever and ever, and then finally one day you go on a tear and you simplify and you get rid of everything, and then you find out that you need it like the day after. That's why I'm such a bad, I'm a borderline hoarder. But in this case, I was real happy I didn't get rid of those, so that was nice. This page is a dictionary page, and the flowers do actually highlight something of importance to her. This side is, I just thought it was cute because it says vintage and the whole book is vintage. So I outlined that with a negative die cut there. And I believe I've seen Sigita do that. That's probably where I got the inspiration for that. This is a tuck spot here. Continuing on, this is a belly band. I kind of liked how that was. I had cut that off of one of the pages that's in the book and then sewed that up and made a little belly band with just a little piece of paper to tuck in there. More of that. This one is not glued down. It just sticks up there like that. She can take it out or not. After I put the paper clip on there to clip this together, and then after I did it, I decided that I liked, or that I thought it needed something on the other side. So that's why that is there. That. Again, the little strings, I kind of like that. So here's this page. This is another Magic Moonlight image. And this I actually made, originally it had a longer piece on the end and I wound up not liking it, so I cut it off. But it's a little, kind of a little booklet here that she can write a note in or whatever. And then she can tuck a little verse down inside here like I have. She can tuck more than one in there if she wants to. So there's a lot of little spaces in those little pages to tuck things, which I thought was kind of a interesting, different idea. And like I said, this is a Magic Moonlight image. I put a little lace on the paper clip. It doesn't open, but it is a tag for her to journal on. This page is also there's nothing on here I wanted to highlight, but I've got this little flip out with the punch on there. Nothing on this page. It was all on the first one that was in the book. This little tag was in this pocket. There's nothing on the back, so she can journal on it. I got more music. And then finally the last page. And as you saw, I didn't mention it, but these, well, I think maybe I did mention it. These are little pockets. I didn't put anything in there, so that's something that she can do when she gets the book. If she would like to do that, she can stick things in the pockets or whatever. But it's rather thick, and you'll see how it kind of just sits there. I'm wondering, I can tell you what the size is if I can find my ruler, which is here. Okay, very good. So the size of this book is about 6 by, what is that, 4.5. So it's about 6 by 4.5. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 signatures in it. And like I said, it's the hidden binding in there so that I could display this lovely vintage spine. And it is attached with this. Sorry for the shaking. So I would love it if you would leave your comments below, like and subscribe to my channel. And again, let me know what you think about the background this time, because all of my other videos have been very plain. Is it easier to see? Does it add to the video? Do you prefer it, with the staging or with the plain background? Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll bring you another fun thing in the near future. Thanks. Bye.